These rolling blackouts are completely unacceptable. This is the United States of America. We are not some developing nation who has an unreliable power grid here.
Governor Pete Ricketts made a bold statement today arguing that relying too much on renewable energy sources will lead to more planned power outages in the future. Power company leaders responded to the governor's words today, saying there's a lot more to it than that. 3 News Now reporter Jessica Edson has more reaction from energy experts.
Some families in America are preparing to wake up for a 4th day without heat or water. While companies are trying to figure out how to restore power, the debate of who is to blame is already underway, with some pointing the finger at renewable energy.
We have become too dependent on intermittent sources of energy or sources of energy where you cannot store on site, and that's why we're having problems.
For others, ignoring climate change is a reason we are seeing these rolling outages and blackouts.
A lot of our infrastructure in terms of power plants and that sort of thing, is set up for 20th century weather patterns. And one thing that we're seeing with climate change is changing weather patterns.
So let's put the politics aside for a second and ask the experts, like the Virtus Group, which specializes in sustainable solutions. Did frozen wind turbines cause these rolling blackouts?
The primary reason we had a shortage of power is because natural gas, coal, and nuclear plants were down that carried a much bigger load.
OPPD President Tim Burke seconds this, saying though there were a few wind turbines that weren't spinning, wind energy makes up such a small portion of our power. Renewable energies as a whole make up just under 40% of OPPD's power.
We did not have those issues with renewables. It would have been nice if we would have got a bunch of wind, but at the end of the day, it was really some of the energy in the south part of SPP that was creating this overall kind of concern and issue.
As far as what needs to be changed on our power grids, both say we need to wait for the data to come out from this experience, and then we can go to the drawing board. Reporting in Omaha, Jessica Edson, 3 News Now.
And today, Nebraska Public Power District CEO and President Tom Kent also responded to the criticism from Governor Pete Ricketts that the blackouts are utterly unacceptable.
What would be utterly unacceptable would be if the utility industry was unable to manage and balance load and generation, and we had a widespread, uncontrolled blackout that impacted several states. No one wants to see these rolling blackouts, and we will look at lessons learned to improve and avoid these in the future. But this was a necessary step that avoided a much more difficult event. Had this step not been taken, had utilities not been able to work to keep generation and load in balance, we could have seen a much larger, widespread, uncontrolled blackout, and that would be utterly unacceptable.
Kent also went on to say that the lack of wind and solar were not the primary issues leading to the shortage. He said the extreme cold, especially in the southern part of the SPP footprint, was the primary contributor. He also stressed the importance of being part of a grid like SPP when events do happen, saying it gives the state a much greater chance of making it through an extreme weather event. And many of you have questions about the rolling blackouts. As we take a deeper look at it, it's important to note that the Southwest Power Pool, which is based out of Little Rock, Arkansas, is the regional transmission organization that oversees the power grid for most of its members. OPPD is a member of Southwest Power Pool footprint, and it stretches from the Canadian border to Texas. Nebraska Public Power District is also a member of the power pool. They are the largest electric utility in the state, covering all or parts of 86 out of Nebraska's 93 counties. In our area, they have customers in Plattsmouth and Wahoo.